Fortnite just dropped a massive update. They have now nerfed sniper rifles, they've buffed DMRs, they added a mythic drum gun and a brand new healing item and so much more. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Let's kick off with the biggest change, the nerf to sniper rifles. Now, there was a few leakers saying that sniper rifles actually got buffed. They increased the bullet travel time. This is not true. This was an accident. This was basically a mistake between how they changed the game files to the hotfix files. You don't have to worry about that. Just know snipers have the same bullet travel time. They have not been buffed, but what has been nerfed is their drop rate. There is no longer blue or green sniper rifles, and the chance of getting one in epic or legendary variant is now much lower. Now, this applies to pubs, ranked, and competitive, but the drop rate in competitive is even lower. So if you have problems with sniper rifles, if you've been annoyed by getting headshot sniped across the map and your whole game being over, you'll be very happy with this. You can still have a very high chance of getting the sniper rifle if you've been maining the sniper rifle by going to the weapon bunkers. They still have the weapon crates that have a very, very high chance of spawning them, but your chance of getting a purple or gold sniper rifle off spawn now is much, much lower. And overall, I'm a fan of this change. I like having snipers in competitive. I like having one-shot headshots in the game. I think they're exciting. I think they do actually add a lot of skill with counter pressure and being able to, take down an opponent who's on high ground, but how easy it is to find them and how easy they are to use right now with 3 shots, a ridiculous amount of ammo, I do think they're a little bit overpowered. I love this change from Fortnite, making them more rare. I would actually love it if they were even more rare, so they feel like a super impactful item. On top of that, I would love to see them actually nerf the amount of ammo on the map. I know they've already done this, but I really think you should almost never have more than 10 shots in your sniper rifle. I think if you have a 10 shots in your sniper with a one-shot headshot in competitive, that is still definitely worth carrying, but it's going to make you consider your shots a lot more and play a lot smarter. So I like this new change with sniper rifles. I kind of wish Epic would even take it a step further. If you're relying on the sniper rifle to hit your long range shots for Storm Surge or just for the fun of it, don't worry, the DMR has also been buffed. They have increased the bullet travel time on the DMR, making it much, much easier to hit your shots. So if you're struggling with the DMR before, pick it up, give it a try. Honestly, it is worth practicing, especially if you're playing high level competitive Fortnite. Almost every single duo right now that is dropping uncontested or doesn't have a guaranteed amount of surge around them is running the DMR. It is so incredibly strong for farming your Storm Surge. If you don't know how to use it, you're gonna want to learn, especially with these most recent buffs. You pair this with the auto shotgun, so you have that fast fire rate shotgun, and you have a really, really good loadout. You can also just run the DMR in early game to get your surge and then drop it later if you want something with a faster fire rate, or if you do want to run maybe the pump shotgun or even the gatekeeper that might have a little bit of a slow fire rate and you want that follow-up weapon, it could honestly be worth running triple weapons in your loadout. This DMR is extremely good for getting surge, especially with less snipers on the map now. We also have a brand new item. We have the Banana of the Gods. This is basically a legendary banana that you can stack up to 4 of, but they honestly aren't that hard to find at all. They heal you for 100, but the way it works is it'll take you 2 seconds to pop it. Once it pops, you gain 25 health instantly, and then it slowly heals you for 75 over the rest of the duration. Now, when I first saw these on paper, I thought they were going to be extremely strong and really lead to even more heal offs. They are decent, don't get me wrong, and people will definitely carry them if they can't find medkits, but I still think how fast the medkit heals you the whole way through is going to be better. If you pop a banana right now and you're in a 10 tick, you are going to die. It doesn't heal you faster than the 10 damage a second you're taking from zones. So as far as heal off goes, medkit is still going to be better, but combining the banana and then using medkits could save you in some sticky situations. So it's been an interesting addition to the game, but I don't really think it's going to change the meta that much. As far as the Zeus ability it gives you, it does give you that sprint and jump effect you get from the Zeus medallion. If you've ever used the Zeus medallion, you know it's not really that strong. Like, it's decent. You might see teams maybe like both popping it and then do like a sprint jump high ground retake, but honestly, I don't see it as like super game changing. It's a cool item. It's not super overpowered, which is nice, but I don't really think it's going to impact the meta that much. An item that currently is impacting competitive a lot is actually shockwaves. Shockwaves aren't meant to be in competitive. They're in pubs and rank, but they aren't in tournaments until now. They are currently dropping out of llamas, and you can get up to 4 of them from a single llama. This was what happened this morning in the evaluation cup, so it's definitely in the game, but I don't know if it's intentional. I have a feeling that this is a bug and Epic will remove it. If they don't, I would be incredibly happy to see this. If a team has a chance to get shockwaves and it means getting a llama and going for these kind of plays is really, really strong, I'm okay with that, because currently if you've watched any competitive, I mean, if you've watched NA at the moment, you know how crazy it is with the Cerberus medallion. Having the dash medallion in Peterbot and Pollo's hands means they're basically winning every single game. Like, everyone else is playing playing for second unless they add some form of crazy mobility into the game that everyone can get, or they specifically nerf the Grimgate medallion. They're basically just winning the season. It is that strong and no one else can compete with it. But if a team was to have shockwaves, or a few teams in lobbies to have shockwaves, this could actually create some kind of chaos and could actually switch things up. Being able to shockwave take height, being able to shockwave them off height, or just apply pressure to a team that otherwise no one can really touch because they have the medallion is going to be exciting. So I don't know if it's here to last. Epic hasn't acknowledged it's a bug. They haven't tweeted anything about it, and they left it in for an entire 2-round tournament this morning. So maybe it's intentional. I don't know. We did also see a buff to the drum gun and the addition of the mythic drum gun. Now, this is sold by Midas on the yacht. It's not in competitive because NPCs aren't in competitive. It looks like a decent change. From the tournament I saw this morning, no one was running the drum gun anyway, even after the buff, so I don't think it's going to change too much. They did also add another change to auto shotguns. They have finally nerfed auto shotguns, but probably not in the way you were wanting if you've been frustrated versing this gun. They've just made it doesn't do as much damage at range and capped its total range. It was weird how far away you could do insane damage with the auto shotgun, especially in no builds. It wasn't really affecting builds that much, and honestly, I think the main frustration with the auto shotgun is people just, you know, spraying through your wall, jumping in, and just doof, 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 and you're just instantly dead. That hasn't changed at all. That looks like it won't be changing. The fact that Epic have nerfed the gun but haven't changed any of the stats that really actually affect the gun means they're happy with where it is in its current state. Epic have also changed the way the bosses work now. They are more difficult. Most of the bosses have more health now, and they take a little bit longer to take down. Honestly, it really hasn't made that big of a difference. One of the biggest changes is the bosses, instead of dropping big pots now, drop fizzberry jars, which is very, very strong, especially for competitive. If you don't have the Cerberus medallion, if you're dropping a, you know, Zeus or Ares or any of the other bosses, you want a fizzberry jar because that's your only form of mobility, and now you're guaranteed it. So not a huge change, but still one worth mentioning. A part of me does wish the bosses were way more difficult. I really thought when we were getting these mythic bosses with crazy stages and henchmen and they have crazy abilities, we were going to finally get really difficult bosses. And I know that could be a little bit frustrating, especially when contested and trying to fight for it off spawn. But for how good some of these boss loot are, I feel like it should be really difficult to get and should feel really rewarding when you finally get it. So I like that Epic is evaluating the bosses and realizing they're a little bit too weak. Again, like the snipers, I kind of want to see them go a bit further. They're going in the right direction, just not as far as I would like. Now we have the return of another item a lot of people missed, the hand cannon or the deagle. It has returned to Fortnite. It is also in competitive, and you can add attachments to it. You can make it way easier to hit your shots now with the different scopes. You can even put a 4x scope on it, so it's basically a sniper rifle. I will warn you though, courtesy of Assyrian, they actually ran the stats. The deagle has the slowest bullet travel time of any gun in the game, so it's shooting even slower than a sniper rifle or a DMR. So, you know, take that how you will. It's still a cool item, especially close range, kind of, you know, pump switch. It does a decent amount of structure damage to apply pressure, but with the bullet travel time being that slow, I really don't see too many people using it. Maybe people will run it off spawn to get a bit of surge damage instead of the DMR, and then they'll drop it, but ultimately it's also near impossible to find. Like, I watched the 6-hour tournament this morning and I saw like maybe 1 or 2 people carry it, and they basically dropped it as soon as they found something better. So not a huge change for the game. Pretty fun for clips and a bit of fun in pubs and ranked, but I don't think it's going to affect competitive. We also saw the Hades chain ability get a buff. It does a bit more damage now, but again, no one's really using this. I did say that probably no one would be running it in competitive. It does work like a harpoon, which is cool, but outside of that, just melee weapons never seem to work. So the damage buff hasn't really seemed to make a difference. Still no one's running it. If you want to see how this update's playing out in the game, check out my React channel video. We actually put up a video of Mr. Savage and Mongrel dropping a 41 kill win on this new update using a whole bunch of these new items. Go check it out.